The courtroom was quiet, but full of tension. People waited to hear the judge's decision. At the front stood two young twins. Their names were Marcus and Malik. Both looked calm, but their eyes showed a deep strength. They wore simple clothes, but carried themselves with pride. The twins were accused of a crime they did not commit. The city whispered rumors about the case. Many believed the twins were innocent. Still, the judge seemed ready to believe otherwise. Judge Lawson was an older man. He had a serious face and sharp eyes. He was known for being strict and not easily moved by emotions. Today, he sat behind a large wooden desk, watching the twins carefully. He spoke with a loud and firm voice. "Marcus and Malik, you stand here accused of theft. Do you understand the charges?" Judge Lawson asked. "Yes, Your Honor," Marcus replied. His voice was steady. Malik nodded but did not speak. The twins were united. They had grown up learning to face hard times together. Judge Lawson frowned. "We have witnesses who say they saw you near the stolen property. How do you explain that?" Marcus took a deep breath. "Your Honor, we were nearby, but we did not take anything. We were at the community center helping with repairs. Several people can confirm this." The judge leaned forward. "Your witnesses are friends and family. Their words hold less weight in this court. You must provide proof." Malik stepped forward. "We have security footage from the community center. It shows us there all afternoon. We asked the court to review it." The judge raised an eyebrow. "Very well. The footage will be examined. But remember, accusations are serious. If you lie here, the law will punish you," the courtroom murmured. The twins stayed silent but hopeful. The prosecution lawyer stood next. He was a sharp man named Mr. Benson. He looked confident. "Your Honor, the evidence is strong. The stolen goods were found near the twins' home. This is not a coincidence." Marcus shook his head. "We did not touch those goods. Someone is trying to frame us." Mr. Benson smiled. "If that is true, where is your proof?" The judge held up his hand. "Enough. We will review all evidence. The court will recess for today and continue tomorrow." The twins left the courtroom with their lawyer. Outside, the air felt heavy. Many eyes watched them. Some were kind, others cold. Marcus and Malik knew this was only the beginning. In a tall office building far from the courtroom, a man sat behind a sleek desk. This was Jonathan Blake, the twins' father. He was calm, but serious as he listened to the news report about the case. Jonathan was a respected businessman and the CEO of Blake Industries, a powerful company that helped run the city's technology and energy. Jonathan had worked hard to build his company. He believed in fairness and truth. Hearing about the judges, harsh words toward his children made him angry inside, but he kept his voice steady when he spoke to his assistant. "Prepare a meeting with Judge Lawson. I want to talk to him privately." "This treatment of my children is unacceptable," Jonathan said firmly. His assistant nodded and left the room quickly. Jonathan looked at a picture on his desk. It showed Marcus and Malik smiling at a family picnic. He remembered teaching them to be strong and honest. Now, they faced a challenge much bigger than they imagined. The next day, back in the courtroom, the judge watched the security footage carefully. The video showed the twins working at the community center. Their hands fixed broken walls and cleaned floors. The twins looked happy and focused. It was clear they were where they said they were. The judge's face changed. He had not expected this. Still, he kept his voice firm as he spoke to the lawyers. "This footage does not prove guilt. It only shows they were at the center for some time. The stolen goods were still found near their home," Judge Lawson said. Marcus spoke up. "Your Honor, please look closer. The timestamps show the twins were there when the theft happened. We ask you to look for others who might be responsible." The judge nodded slowly. "Very well. We will continue the investigation. Court is adjourned for today." Later that evening, the twins sat together in their small apartment. Malik looked worried, but Marcus smiled to encourage him. "We can prove our innocence. Dad said he would help." We just have to stay strong, Marcus said. Malik nodded. I believe that too. We can't let this ruin our future. Their mother entered the room, holding a warm cup of tea. You both have done nothing wrong. Stay calm and trust that the truth will come out. The family held hands. Their bond was strong, and their hope was stronger. Meanwhile, Judge Lawson sat alone in his office. He thought about the case all night. Something about the twins did not sit right with him. He had judged many people before, but this case felt different. He felt unsure if he was being fair. Suddenly, a call came in. It was Jonathan Blake. Judge Lawson, I would like to meet you. It is about the twins' case, Jonathan said calmly. The judge was surprised. Mr. Blake, I did not know you were their father. Yes, we can meet. Jonathan smiled quietly. Good. I believe we can find the truth together. The story was only beginning. The twins faced a hard fight. The judge had doubts, and their father held power the judge did not expect. In the city, whispers grew louder. The truth waited to be revealed. Marcus and Malik were ready to face whatever came next. The morning sun shone brightly through the tall windows of Jonathan Blake's office. The room was large and filled with important-looking books and advanced technology. Jonathan sat behind his desk, calm and confident. He was a man used to solving problems. Today, he had a new challenge, a challenge to clear his children's names. Jonathan's assistant knocked on the door. The judge is here, sir, she said quietly. Jonathan nodded and stood up. Send him in. A moment later, Judge Lawson entered. He looked serious but respectful. He had never expected to meet the twins' father. Jonathan shook his hand, firmly. Judge Lawson, thank you for coming, Jonathan said. I want to talk about your treatment of my children in court. The judge cleared his throat. Mr. Blake, I admit I was surprised. I did not know who your children were when I first saw them. It changes things. Jonathan smiled slightly. I hope it changes them for the better. Marcus and Malik are innocent. I believe the evidence will show that soon. Judge Lawson sat down. I want to do my job right. I am open to hearing more. Jonathan pulled out a data tablet from his desk. This is from our security system. It covers the whole area near the community center and their home. It might help find who really took the goods. The judge took the tablet and studied the video carefully. The images showed more than just the twins at the community center. At one point, a shadowy figure appeared near the twins' home late in the afternoon. The figure moved quickly and then disappeared. Jonathan pointed at the screen. Look here. That is the time the theft happened. This person is our real suspect. Judge Lawson's eyes narrowed. I see. This changes the case, but we must prove this person's identity. Jonathan nodded. We have started tracking this individual. Our security team is working hard to find out who they are. Meanwhile, the twins were back at the community center. Marcus and Malik worked with the volunteers to repair the damaged walls and clean up the broken windows. Their spirits were high despite the heavy weight of the accusations. Marcus said to Malik, Dad is helping. The judge will see the truth soon. Malik smiled. I hope so. It is hard to stay calm when people look at us like we are criminals. A volunteer named Mrs. Jensen came to them with a small package. This came for you both, she said kindly. Marcus opened it carefully. Inside was a letter from their father. It read, Stay strong and trust the truth. I will not let anyone harm you. Your father. The twins felt a new wave of hope. They knew their father's power was strong, but they also knew they had to keep fighting with honesty. Back in the courtroom, the atmosphere began to change. Judge Lawson ordered a new investigation. He asked the police to work with Jonathan's security team. The judge wanted to be sure the right person faced justice. Days passed, and more evidence came to light. The shadowy figure was caught on another camera. This time, the person was clearly seen. It was a man known in the city for small crimes, but never involved in anything serious. His name was Darren Cole. Judge Lawson called the man to court. Darren looked nervous. He denied the accusations at first, but the evidence was strong. The stolen goods were found in his apartment. The case was clear. Marcus and Malik sat quietly, watching the scene. They felt relief, but also sadness. They had been judged before being heard. They wondered how many others had suffered the same. One evening, Marcus sat with his father in Jonathan's office. The city lights sparkled outside the window. Jonathan spoke calmly. "Marcus, this experience is hard, but it will teach you something important," Jonathan said. "Sometimes people judge before they know the truth. We must show them how wrong they can be." Marcus nodded. "I want to help others who face unfair treatment." Jonathan smiled proudly. "That is why we work hard, to make the world better." The judge also changed. After seeing the truth and meeting the twins' father, he thought deeply about his own actions. Judge Lawson had been strict and quick to judge for many years. Now he realized he must listen more carefully. One day, the judge called Marcus and Malik to his chambers. "I want to apologize," he said sincerely. "I treated you unfairly. I let my doubts and fears guide me. From now on, I will be more careful and just." The twins were surprised but thankful. Malik said, "Thank you, Your Honor. We believe in fairness." Judge Lawson smiled. "So do I." News about the case spread throughout the city. People began to talk about justice, fairness, and the importance of truth. The twins became a symbol of hope. They were not just two boys fighting for themselves. They were a reminder that every person deserves to be heard. Jonathan made a public speech. He spoke about his children and the fight for justice. "We all must stand against unfairness," he said. "Our city will grow stronger when we protect the innocent and fight corruption." The crowd cheered. Many agreed that change was needed. The twins' story inspired others to speak up. As the sun set over the city, Marcus and Malik looked out from the rooftop of their apartment building. They held hands, feeling stronger than ever. Marcus said, "We did not just clear our names. We made a difference." Malik smiled. "And this is only the beginning." Together, the twins faced the future with courage. Their father's support, the judge's change of heart, and the city's growing hope were powerful forces. The truth was shining brighter every day. After the new evidence cleared the twins of all charges, the city slowly began to change its view of Marcus and Malik. But not everyone was happy. Some people in power felt threatened by Jonathan Blake and his family. They feared that his influence would change things too much. They wanted to keep the old ways, where only they had control. Jonathan knew this well. He had faced many challenges before, but nothing like this. The fight was no longer just about his children. It was about fairness for all people in the city. One afternoon, Jonathan invited Judge Lawson to meet with him again. This time, the meeting was not in a courtroom or a public office. It was in Jonathan's private conference room, a place where decisions were made quietly. Judge Lawson arrived, still feeling unsure but willing to listen. Jonathan stood by the large window, looking out at the city. "Judge, you have done well to reconsider your actions," Jonathan said. "But there is more to this story. People are trying to keep the city divided. They use fear and doubt to control others." The judge nodded slowly. "I see that now. The twins' case was just one part of a bigger problem." Jonathan turned to face him. "I want to work with you. Together, we can change the system. We can make the law fairer and protect everyone." Judge Lawson looked surprised. "You want to help me? Why would you do that?" Jonathan smiled. "Because it is the right thing to do. Justice is not just about punishment. It is about truth and fairness. I believe you want that too." The judge thought for a moment. Then he said, "Yes, I want to be better. I want to help." Meanwhile, Marcus and Malik were busy with their own plans. The twins wanted to help others who faced unfair treatment. They knew their story was special, but many others suffered in silence. At school, the twins talked to their friends and teachers about justice. They organized meetings to share ideas and find ways to support people. Their courage inspired many students. One day, Malik said, "We should create a group to help people who feel alone or judged." Marcus agreed. "Yes, we can work with Dad's company and the judge. Together, we can make a real difference." Their mother smiled proudly. "You both have big hearts. Use your strength wisely." The twins worked hard. They met with city leaders, community members, and even the police. Slowly, the city began to listen. Back in Jonathan's office, things were not always easy. Some members of the city council were unhappy. They met in secret to discuss how to stop Jonathan and Judge Lawson from changing things. One council member, Mr. Graves, spoke loudly. "Blake's power grows every day. If we do not act, he will take control of everything." Another council member agreed. "We must find a way to weaken him. We cannot let the city fall into his hands." But others disagreed. "Blake is fighting for justice. We should work with him." The council was divided. The fight for the city's future had begun. Judge Lawson faced pressure too. Some of his old friends warned him to stay quiet. They said he was risking too much. One evening, the judge received a message. It was a warning. "Stop helping Blake or face the consequences." The judge felt a cold chill, but he knew he could not turn back. He had promised to be fair. The next day, Judge Lawson stood in court with new strength. He spoke clearly about fairness and the need to protect all people. The courtroom was full of attention. Some people cheered, others stayed silent, but the message was clear. Jonathan worked late into the night. He studied reports, planned meetings, and thought about the future. He wanted to protect his family and help the city grow. He called Marcus and Malik to his office one evening. "You have done well to speak up. Now, it is time to be ready. The fight for justice will not be easy, but with courage, we can win." Marcus looked determined. "We are ready, Dad." Malik nodded. "We will not give up." Jonathan smiled proudly. "Good. Together, we are strong." As the days passed, the city began to change. New programs were created to help families in need. Schools taught about fairness and respect. The police worked with community leaders to solve problems. Peacefully, Marcus and Malik saw the difference. They felt proud to be part of this change. One afternoon, they stood on a busy street watching people from many backgrounds talk and laugh together. Marcus said, "This is what we wanted. A city where everyone belongs." Malik smiled. "And it will only get better." But deep in the shadows, those who wanted to keep the city divided planned their next move. The fight for justice was far from over. Jonathan, Judge Lawson, and the twins knew they must stay strong. Together they would face whatever came next, because the truth was on their side. And so was the hope of a better future. The city was alive with change, but not all was calm. The twins, Marcus and Malik, still faced many questions. They wanted to clear their names completely and find the person who tried to harm their family's reputation. Their father, Jonathan. Blake had promised to help, and now it was time to act. One morning, Marcus and Malik arrived at Blake Industries, their father's company. The building was huge and filled with bright lights and busy workers. Jonathan greeted them with a warm smile. "Good morning, sons," he said. "Today you will see how we use technology to find the truth." Jonathan led them to a large room filled with screens and computers. Engineers and analysts worked quietly, watching data and maps. "This is our security and investigation center," Jonathan explained. We have many cameras around the city. Our goal is to use this technology to protect people and stop crime. Marcus looked around, amazed. Can we help with the investigation? Jonathan nodded. Yes, you both have sharp minds. Your knowledge of the city is valuable. Malik asked, how do we start? Jonathan showed them a screen with a map of the neighborhood. First, we look for any unusual activity around the time of the theft. Then we find all evidence that can lead us to the true criminals. The twins worked closely with the team. They learned how to read security footage and study patterns. They looked at every detail, every shadow, every movement. One day, Malik spotted something on a screen. Look here, Marcus. At this camera near the market, there is a figure moving strangely the night of the theft. Marcus leaned in. Yes, the person hides their face but carries a large bag. That must be the stolen goods. Jonathan smiled. Good eyes, Malik. Let's enhance the video. The team worked to clear the image. Slowly, the person's face became clearer. It was a man the city knew as a troublemaker, but not someone dangerous before. Who is this? Marcus asked. Jonathan checked the files. His name is Aaron Pierce. He has a record for small crimes, but nothing serious. Maybe this was a chance to prove himself to someone else. The investigation continued. The twins and the team gathered more evidence. They found fingerprints and footprints near the stolen goods location. They connected these clues to Aaron Pierce. Jonathan called the police to share the information. The officers agreed to arrest Aaron and question him about the theft. The twins waited anxiously for the police report. They hoped this would end the accusations against them forever. At the police station, Aaron sat in a small room. He looked nervous but tried to stay calm. The officers asked him questions about the theft and the stolen goods. Why did you take those items? One officer asked. Aaron hesitated. I needed money. It was a mistake. I did not want to hurt anyone. The officers looked serious. You have to face the consequences. Stealing is against the law. Aaron lowered his head. He knew he was caught. Back at Blake Industries, Jonathan spoke to Marcus and Malik. This is a hard moment for Aaron, but justice must be done. We want to protect our city, not punish those who make mistakes. Marcus nodded. Maybe Aaron needs help, not just punishment. Jonathan smiled. Exactly. That is why we must also work to support people who struggle. The twins returned to school with a new mission. They talked to their classmates about fairness and second chances. They shared their own story to show how important it is to look for the truth before judging. Malik said, everyone makes mistakes, but we must help each other learn and grow. Marcus added, justice is about fairness and understanding. It is not just about punishment. Their words inspired many students. Some joined the twins to start programs that helped young people make good choices. Meanwhile, Judge Lawson watched the changes in the city. He felt proud to be part of this new way of thinking. He also knew there were still hard days ahead. One afternoon, the judge met with Jonathan again. The city is changing because of you and your family, Judge Lawson said. But some people still resist. Jonathan nodded. Change is never easy. But we must keep working, the judge smiled. I will do everything I can to support justice and fairness. As the investigation came closer to the truth, Marcus and Malik felt stronger. They knew their father and the judge were with them. They had new friends and supporters in the city. One evening, the twins stood together on a balcony overlooking the city lights. Marcus said, we have come far, but the journey is not over. Malik agreed. We will keep fighting for what is right. Their voices were calm but full of hope. The city below was full of people, all waiting for justice to shine brighter. But in quiet rooms, far from the city center, plans were being made by those who did not want to see change. They whispered about ways to stop Jonathan Blake and his family. The twins knew they must be ready. Their fight was about more than themselves now. It was about the future of the city and its people. Together, Marcus, Malik, and their father prepared for what was next. Because when the truth is on your side, hope can never be lost. Judge Lawson sat in his office, staring at the city below. The past weeks had been difficult for him. The twins' case had changed his view of justice and fairness. He knew he had made mistakes. Now, he wanted to be better. He reached for a cup of tea, then set it down. He thought about Marcus and Malik. They were strong and brave. They had shown him the importance of listening and learning. The judge had been part of the old system, a system that sometimes judged people before knowing the full truth. Now he saw that change was needed. The next morning, Judge Lawson arrived early at the courthouse. He wanted to speak with the twins before the day's session. Marcus and Malik were surprised when the judge asked them to meet in his chambers. They wondered what he wanted to say. When they arrived, the judge stood up and smiled kindly. "Thank you for coming," he said. "I want to apologize for how I treated you during the trial." Marcus looked at Malik, then nodded. "Thank you. Your Honor, we accept your apology." Judge Lawson continued, "I have thought deeply about my actions. I was too quick to judge. I did not listen carefully. That was wrong." Malik spoke softly. "We all make mistakes. What matters is that we learn from them." The judge smiled. "You are wise beyond your years." The judge then shared a new plan. He wanted to change how the court worked. He believed the system should protect people and find the truth, not punish unfairly. "I will work with community leaders, including Jonathan Blake," the judge said. "Together, we will create programs to help those in need and prevent crime before it happens." Marcus felt hopeful. "That will help many people, Your Honor." Judge Lawson nodded. "Yes, and it will build trust between the court and the community." Back at Blake Industries, Jonathan watched the news. Reporters talked about the judge's apology and new ideas. The city was talking about change and hope. Jonathan called Marcus and Malik. "The judge's words are a good sign, but we must keep working." Malik said, "We want to help the city, Dad. We want to make sure everyone is treated fairly." Jonathan smiled. "That is why your voices matter. Keep speaking up." The twins continued their work in the community. They met with students, teachers, and families. They shared stories of courage and fairness. Their message was simple: everyone deserves respect and a chance. One day, Malik spoke at a school event. "We all have the power to change things. When we stand together, we can make a difference." The crowd applauded. Marcus added, "Justice is not just about rules. It is about kindness and understanding." Their words touched many hearts. Meanwhile, some city leaders still resisted change. They met in secret to plan ways to slow progress. They worried about losing power. Mr. Graves, the council member, spoke. "We must find new ways to stop Blake and Lawson." Another member said, "The people want fairness, but they also fear change. We can use that." But Jonathan and Judge Lawson stayed strong. They believed in the city's future. One afternoon, Judge Lawson invited Marcus and Malik to visit the courthouse. He wanted them to see the changes being made. The twins walked through new community rooms where people could talk and get help. They saw judges listening carefully and officers working with families. "This is what justice should be," Marcus said quietly. Judge Lawson smiled. "Thank you for helping me see this. Your courage opened my eyes." At home, the family gathered for dinner. Jonathan looked around the table, proud of his sons. "You have done well. The city is listening now," he said. Malik smiled. "We still have work to do, but we are ready." Marcus nodded. "Together we can build a better future." Their mother agreed. With honesty and hope, anything is possible. That night, the twins went to bed feeling peaceful. They knew the road ahead would not be easy. but they also knew they were not alone. The judge's change of heart was a new beginning. It was proof that even the hardest hearts could learn to care. And for Marcus and Malik, it was a chance to show the city what true justice really meant. The city was changing, but in the shadows, danger still waited. Some people did not want the new justice to succeed. They worked quietly, trying to hide their plans from Jonathan Blake, Judge Lawson, and the twins. These people had been controlling the city for years. They were afraid of losing their power. One evening, Jonathan received an anonymous message. It warned him that someone was trying to stop the work he and his family were doing. Jonathan's face grew serious. He knew the fight was not over. Jonathan called Marcus and Malik to his office. "There are forces in this city who do not want change," he said. "We must find out who they are and stop them." The twins listened carefully. They were ready to help their father. At Blake Industries, the investigation team began searching for clues. They looked at financial records, secret meetings, and strange activities around the city. The twins joined the team, eager to find the truth. Marcus studied a list of unusual bank transfers. "Look here," he said. "Money is moving from unknown accounts to some city officials." Malik nodded. "They are hiding their actions. This must be connected to the people who tried to hurt us." Jonathan agreed. "We will follow the money. It will lead us to the real criminals." Judge Lawson worked on his side, too. He met with honest police officers and city workers who wanted to help. Together, they planned to bring the corrupt leaders to justice. One afternoon, the judge received a secret tip. A whistleblower wanted to meet and share important information. The meeting was held in a quiet cafe. The whistleblower, a nervous woman named Clara, spoke softly. "I have seen documents that prove some council members are stealing from the city," she said. "They used their power to frame your family and keep control." Judge Lawson thanked Clara. "Your courage helps us all. We will protect you." The evidence was strong. Jonathan, the twins, and the judge gathered proof to expose the corruption. They prepared to reveal the truth to the public. On a bright morning, the city hall was full of reporters and citizens. Jonathan stood at the front with Judge Lawson and the twins. Jonathan spoke clearly. "Today we will show you the true villains who tried to harm innocent people and keep the city in darkness." He presented the evidence: hidden bank accounts, secret meetings, and false accusations. The crowd listened in shock. Marcus added, "We were framed because some people feared change. But truth always finds a way," Malik continued. "We must stand together to protect justice and fairness." The city was alive with new hope. People cheered for the twins and their family. The corrupt leaders were arrested and faced the law. Some council members apologized and promised to work for the city's good. The fight for justice had won an important battle. That night, Marcus and Malik sat with their father. The city lights shone brightly outside the window. Jonathan smiled. "This is only the beginning. We must keep building a fair city." Marcus nodded. "We will keep fighting for what is right." Malik agreed. "Together, we can make the future better." Judge Lawson looked at the stars from his window. He felt proud of the changes he had helped make. The city was growing stronger, fairer, and more just. He knew there would be more challenges ahead, but he also knew he was not alone. The twins and Jonathan were with him. The story of Marcus and Malik was no longer just about two boys. It was about hope, courage, and the power of truth. The city was waking up to a new day. The air felt lighter, and the streets were full of hope. People walked with smiles. They talked about fairness, justice, and change. The story of Marcus and Malik had become a symbol for everyone who believed in a better future. In the large hall of City Hall, a special meeting was about to begin. Jonathan Blake, Judge Lawson, Marcus, and Malik were invited to speak. The leaders of the city gathered to decide how to build this new future together. Jonathan stood at the front. His voice was strong and calm. "We have faced hard times, but we learned important lessons," he said. "Justice is not just about rules. It is about truth, respect, and caring for one another." Judge Lawson nodded. "The law must protect all people, no matter who they are. We will work to make the court fair and open." Marcus stepped forward. "We want every young person to have a chance. We want schools and communities to be places where everyone feels safe and heard." Malik added, "We believe in helping others. We want to build programs to support families so no one feels alone." The crowd listened carefully. Many people clapped. The city leaders promised to work together for these goals. Outside City Hall, Marcus and Malik walked with their father. The sun was warm. People waved and smiled at them. They felt proud, but knew their work was not done. Marcus said, "The city is changing, but we must stay ready." "There will always be challenges," Malik agreed. "Yes, we must keep listening and helping." Jonathan looked at his sons. "You have done well. Your courage has brought hope to many. Remember, the future is built one step at a time." Back at their home, the family gathered around the dinner table. The room was filled with laughter and stories. Their mother served the meal, proud of her sons and husband. After dinner, Malik said, "I want to start a program at school to teach fairness and respect." Marcus smiled. "I will help. We can also invite judges and officers to talk with students." Jonathan nodded. "That is a great idea. Education is the key to lasting change." The family talked late into the night about their plans. They felt united and strong. Days turned into weeks. The city grew brighter. New community centers opened. Police officers joined neighborhood meetings. Schools taught kindness and understanding. The people worked together. Marcus and Malik helped lead these changes. They spoke at events, visited schools, and met with city leaders. Their story inspired many. One afternoon, Malik met a young boy who looked shy and afraid. Malik smiled gently. "It is okay. We are here to help. You are not alone." The boy nodded. "Thank you." Marcus joined them. "We all need friends and support. That is how we grow strong." Judge Lawson worked hard to improve the justice system. He created a team of judges and officers who believed in fairness. They listened carefully to every case. They worked to understand each person's story. Jonathan supported these efforts. His company helped fund programs for education and support. He spoke to the city council about fairness and respect. Slowly, the city became a place where people could trust the law and each other. One evening, Marcus, Malik, and their father stood on a hill overlooking the city. The lights twinkled like stars. Marcus said, "We have come far, but this is only the start." Malik added, "The future is bright because we believe in it." Jonathan smiled proudly. "You both have shown great courage. The city will remember, this time, as a new beginning." The twins looked at each other and nodded. They knew that together they could face any challenge. The story of Marcus and Malik was no longer just about a court case. It was about hope, courage, and the power to change a city. It was about standing up for what is right, even when the road is hard. The city had learned that fairness and justice are not just words. They are actions. They are kindness, honesty, and listening. As the night grew quiet, the family felt peace. They had made a difference, and they knew the future held endless possibilities.